Hey everybody, what's going on? And I know this is a little late. Well, not very late, but pretty late. But I did manage to play a bit of the Halo Wars 2 beta. And as a fan of the original Halo Wars, I gotta say that this beta gave me a lot of hope for this franchise's future. Halo Wars 2 looks a lot more futuristic. I mean, just pull up a picture of Halo Wars 1 starting base compared to this for the Covenant, and it's definitely a huge difference. Everything is more triangular, sort of more sharper edges, a lot higher tech, and just a lot more clean. It looks a bit more like a simulation, to be honest, which I kind of like, actually. And there's a lot of different changes, so for those of you who don't already know some of the changes, I'm gonna run them down for you. So I'm playing as the Covenant leader, Atrix. I don't even know how to pronounce it. We're just gonna call him Brute Chieftain, because god damn it, that's what he is in my eyes. And his abilities, every commander, by the way, in this game has sort of their own sort of technical tree. There's commander points that you get throughout the game, and my dumbass didn't even spend my goddamn point, which I should have. But you pretty much get these points throughout the game, and you can use them to get abilities, sort of like how you could get your commander powers in the first game, you know, like the Mac Blacks and all that for, you know, for Carter and everybody. But it's a bit different, and you're gonna see the menu later on in this game, but it's pretty game changing and sort of hard to explain. And here's the menu right now. So you see my dumbass took a while. This is my first game as the Covenant, so I was sort of learning, and I realized that I should have really spent this point earlier, because my leader has this ability called resource control or resource management, where pretty much everything's cheaper, which I really should have done early on, because for those of you who don't know really how both sides of the ball work in Halo Wars, the Covenant are more of the slower, more expensive sort of faction, I guess, that you can play as, and they sort of revolve around, you know, having really expensive buildings and really expensive units that take a while to build and upgrade, but once you can get them up later on into the game, you're just so powerful. And you're gonna see that. I start this game off sort of really weak, but I start to snowball a massive military really quickly that's extremely strong and goddamn expensive. But I really liked this beta. I liked how what you're seeing here is sort of the control point, sort of a domination game mode, as you can see with the tickets up top and the sort of A, B, C, D, and E points on the map. But I think a week into the beta they changed it to deathmatch. There was no campaign in the beta, for those of you who didn't get a chance to play it. There was no campaign. There was no real single player. There was no single player, actually, and it was just sort of 2v2 online. And as you can see here, I'm playing with my boy CJ. Check him out at CJ Gamer Inferno. Gamer. I can't even remember my own friend's YouTube account name when I'm giving him a shout out. Goddamn professional. But another thing I really liked about this game, I'm just going all over the wall, but I was really hyped for this. I was really excited when this was announced at E3. I shit bricks and immediately went to go download it. For those of you who didn't get a chance to download it, you also got 3 golden rec packs for Halo 5, which I proceeded to open and which I proceeded to get jack diddly shit in, like always. For those of you who don't know, my luck is terrible with packs in every game. I don't know what it is, but dude, it is bad. So I'm gonna spend another command point. As you can see, you kind of get these at certain points. I don't know if there's a set time that you get one, but you seem to get one around every 5 or so minutes. There's no real indication of when you have one. Nobody will say, oh, new command point available to spend or any of that. So you might as well, it's always good to check on it. Quick heads up, by the way, this is pre-recorded, of course, because I just wanted to sort of talk over it and really give my opinion on the game, not really explain what's going on. Because for those of you who clicked on this video, I thought you would have some knowledge of what Halo Wars is about. And it's pretty easy to catch on. Pretty much build a base, you know, put buildings in the base to get money. The new power system is interesting, and my real feel on the whole power resources thing is, now that you sort of spend power like resources, which is, it's sort of hard to understand the way I worded it there, but pretty much you have money and then you have power, and you pretty much spend both of them at the same time, or you spend, you know, to upgrade your like supply pad, you spend like 100 power, I think it is, and then to upgrade your reactor you need like 500 or so resources. What I feel like it is very weird, and sort of my take on it is, you need a lot of power really early on. Power is a really pain in the ass resource to get, and it really slows you down early on, especially for the Covenant. You know, a lot of your stuff requires a ton of power, and all your shit is already fucking expensive. But it's even more expensive, and it's painful at times. You see me here building a lot more reactors than pads, and in fact in one game I had probably double the amount of reactors than I had pads, which it really kind of helps you early on, but it's punishing later on, especially when you're trying to upgrade units, because then you need resources. So this game really relies on having good building management, you know, really picking if you want to be a strong early game presence or late game presence, which I really like. And it also sort of makes it so that you really gotta rely on your teammates, and you gotta really ask your teammate what their building strategy for this game is. As you can see, me and Carl are talking sort of during this, and we're sort of strategizing, because eventually I believe he goes, I believe he builds Scorpions and stuff, and I start building Banshees. And of course we both get ground troops. Also like how you sort of build your sort of standard infantry guys in your home. It's very good. I really like a lot of the changes to this game franchise. I feel like it's going in a really good direction. It's both sort of welcoming the new players, because my dumbass managed to win, I think, every game. I didn't lose a single game during this span. I played around 50 or so games after this. So I played around 52 games. I played 2 games of UNSC before this game. So I sort of got a feel for the controls, which are different from the original Halo Wars. I think it's like hold RB down for all units. It's a really kind of weird control scheme, and hopefully they have it so that you can go back to the sort of classic Halo Wars control. It's not that much of a difference, but some of the things are definitely different control scheme wise. There you can see I can use the cleansing beam even though I'm not playing as a prophet. Which, speaking of the prophets, it's going to be really interesting to see who the rest of the Covenant leaders are going to be. Or where this game takes place in the goddamn timeline. It's already been confirmed that we'll see the original Big Three, as I like to call them, from Halo Wars 1. But it's going to be really interesting to see who the rest of the Covenant leaders are going to be. It's going to be really interesting to see, in my opinion, if we will be able to play as the Forerunners. That's going to be really, really dope if we can. And I would love to see if the Forerunners were introduced as a faction, even if you only had like the Didac as a playable character. And please God, 343, if you're going to do DLC for this game, which I know you're going to do, please, 1, don't make the Didac DLC. Or 2, please, please, please make the DLC free updates like they are for Halo 5. You just, A1 for just giving out free DLC. I know it's sort of not up to them with Creative Assembly being a part of this game, but man, I'd love it if we have free DLC, because a lot of the DLC maps in Halo Wars 1 were dope. So, also quick note, I know I'm bouncing all over the walls in this video, but it's sort of a lot to say for sort of a short clip. Usually Halo Wars games, for those of you who sort of new to this franchise, they last around 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. Really stalemate-ish games can last around a couple hours. I've had deathmatch games last around like a couple hours. Not a couple hours, but around an hour. But the reason this is sort of short is, one, I'm missing the very end of this game. That's right, this game kind of ends off on a cliffhanger, because I recorded it and it was completely black screen. There was only audio, which I was very upset about. I tried to like recapture it, tried to reload all my files, and nothing really worked. Like I said, my recording equipment has just been really ass lately. I'm hoping to get an Elgato and a lot of better recording stuff so I can make longer, better videos, and I don't have to worry about shit like this with Upload Studio. But right now I'm pretty much stuck with this. But I'm glad I got most of this game out. This really wasn't a video to talk about this game play, more just about the beta and how I feel about this game. I really like this game though, like I said probably a billion times, but I feel it's really solid. From what I've heard, it's kind of gotten mixed reviews. Some of the old school people are saying and some of the people sort of new to this franchise say, man, this looks really interesting. But on the note I was on before, I really would like to see, you know, Forerunner, you know, even if you could only play as a Didac. That'd be really interesting, because like the UNSC and the Covenant are sort of polar opposites. They're sort of UNSC is sort of can build up really quickly. Stuff is really kind of cheap, and you know, the infamous Marine spam, for those of you who played Halo Wars 1 and sort of competitively and knew all about the ODSTs, Marine just droppage in the first Halo Wars. And the Covenant are sort of, you know, slower, like I said. You know, Scarab especially, just beast be reckoned with, that just destroyed everything. I think you do see vultures in this game. We might have seen them already, but the vulture was sort of underwhelming when I saw it. There weren't really any Uber units, I would say. There are sort of Uber abilities in a way, but you know, there was no Scarab from what I found. So there was Locust though, so you know, the Locust Rush is still well and alive. But example of these sort of Uber's abilities will be at the end of the game, where I get the super cleansing beam of death, as I like to call it, in a different game, where I just called down death upon the enemies. And just 5 lasers that collapse into one mega laser that just destroys fucking everything. It's pretty awesome. A lot of this game though felt really good. I felt like a lot of people didn't know what the hell they were doing though, because out of, you know, like I said, 52 games, we won like all of them. And, you know, every game sort of started off the same, with people sort of rushing for a point really early on, and me and CJ sort of just sitting back. I guess it's because we had communication, but we sort of sit back and was slower and built up a force, and then just rolled people later on because we had such a built up force and we sort of played passively. That's why you saw in the beginning of this game we were losing pretty heavily, and now it's tied up and we actually, you know, won this game. So like I said, there is no ending to this, so enjoy the Covenant Uber ability, I guess, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I guess I'm out. Enjoy the rest of this gameplay.